everyone, welcome to the Spot Real Talk. My name is Tiffany.
And I'm Ron.
And we have a special guest, Ron H, back to hold Tiara down because as you guys probably already see, Tiara's not with us, and that's because she had her beautiful baby girl earlier in the week. So we're going to give Tiara some time to get into mommyhood and bond a little bit, and we're going to have some guest hosts rotate with us until Tiara gets back, because yes, she is coming back. But in the meantime, if you guys want to join us for future recaps, you're welcome to do so. And that includes the talent for the shows too. If you want to join us for the recap, you're welcome to. But anyway, we'll get right into our recap of Raising Kanan episode 307, where all are guilty. Please subscribe to our channel. That's what Tiara would say right up front. Get the housekeeping out the way, as she would say. So anyway, welcome. And I wanted to jump into it with you guys because the episode started with a bang. Literally, because Kanan and Ronnie and his crew pushed up on Paul right away in the opening scenes. And did y'all see that coming? I thought that Kanan would probably be the one to press Paul, or that Ronnie would make him do it. What did y'all think?
I honestly think that, Ronnie was there when Paul started talking and running his mouth to Kanan, and we all know, Ronnie doesn't like all that chatter. So I didn't know what would happen in episode 7, but it didn't surprise me that Ronnie pushed up on Kanan and Ronnie pushed up on Paul, because they chumped him. I mean, my boy, they just pumped the heck out of him. I don't know what he can do from this point.
Nah, he's done. He went to the bathroom on himself. He's done. He's done.
Yeah, that's embarrassing, man. That's not the way you want to look. That if you thought you had a backbone before, you lost it right there.
That's major surgery, man.
Yeah, that's no good.
Yeah.
And let me just say thank y'all for having me once again, and shout out to Tiara. Congratulations. I think that I knew it was going to happen because they kind of, when you have that little moment of him checking him and Kanan step into his face, he backed down in episode 6. But you knew something might pop up later. I thought it might, and then Kanan might have to really deal with them. But it's interesting that the episode starts off like that, because it kind of makes me, it gives me two things. One, you already know that Ronnie don't like no talking. We know that, right? And two, I think Ronnie is teaching Kanan from his way of how you deal with situations so that they don't turn into something later.
He's making Kanan more ruthless. Kanan is definitely observant, and he was definitely flexing on Paul. And but I figured that something like that was going to happen. I figured that that Ronnie was going to maybe force Kanan to do it, like to maybe take him out. I'm glad to see it doesn't look like they took Paul out, but we see why he was pressing Paul. That Famous came home. Famous came home to get his stuff and got caught right in the middle of it. And I was cringing for Famous, because I was like, oh, the way Ronnie was pressing him, because even Kanan looked uncomfortable. Like he was looking at first, and then, he stepped up, and then he continued to press Famous. And I was like, oh, this is not a good situation.
I saw it a little differently, though, because what I noticed with Kanan, and a couple times in the episode, Kanan said something to Ronnie, which to me ordinarily would have set him off. But it seemed like he was able to control Ronnie. You remember,
he can check Ronnie.
He did. He checked him. He checked him a couple of times. And I'm thinking, is Ronnie just being, because this isn't Michael Myers I know of. I'm thinking that, like you said earlier, that he would probably be running Kanan, but it looked like Kanan had some control. Maybe it's just, it's a farce, but it looked like he had a little something going on with Ronnie. It seems he was able to, because remember, he said, let me go on out there and make sure that Ronnie doesn't
kill him. Yeah. Well, listen, but even with Michael Myers, Dr. Loomis had a little
A
relationship
little.
with Michael. He had very little. He very control of him, but he was the only one that could slightly understand and get through to Michael Myers. So that could be the same connection with Kanan and Ronnie. But you can see that Kanan was a little uncomfortable when he first was pressing. And that's why I think he stepped up and said Kanan does keep things close mostly. But if he doesn't, I'll F him up. And I think he did that. You know, he was flexing on Famous, of course, but I think he did that too to back Ronnie off of Famous. When he did, to your point, did check Famous when it came time to, when Juke came over there. When Juke came over there and flexing and stuff, and then Ronnie was like, do you want me to talk to her? I was like, oh, Lord. And he was like, no, you ain't going to ever talk to my family.
And he bucked down. And then another thing about Jukebox came in with fire. Ronnie said nothing. He sat there eating his whatever it was.
His Cheerios.
His little Cheerios, eating his Cheerios and said nothing. And because my thought was he might jump up and try to get into that conversation, even after Jukebox pushed Kanan. And I'm thinking, is this going to set off Michael Myers? But he sat there and ate his little Cheerios. He was.
I guess he was like, that's family business. Well, what you think, Ron H?
I mean, that's like it's. I'm glad that Kanan stepped up and said what he had to say, because I mean, I know. It's weird because, you know, Ronnie is a odd dude, man, and he definitely puts fear in a lot of people's hearts. And I know Kanan is afraid of him, but also Kanan has to be a man too, and really like, listen, you know, you can't just be doing whatever you think is right. I'm gonna have to handle this on my own too, and my family is off limits. I agree. I don't know how long that's gonna last. But I definitely think he was right for him to step up and say that, because I will say Juke is a Juke is a firecracker.
Juke is a firecracker.
To me, it's a bit much, because even if she is who she is, and she's a young woman with a lot of fire, you can't just be saying whatever you want to any and everybody. I mean, she even in episode 6, where she's like, yeah, chilling in here with the thugsters. That one's a thugster doing this. That one's a thug. I'm like, damn, she calling out every. Juke is about that life, man.
That's what she is.
She always calls it how she sees it. And even like she wasn't scared of the dudes in the hallway too. She's like, you know, get the F off me.
Yeah.
You know, she was not scared to flex and stuff. You know, and she told Kanan, like, you pretending to be a man, you still a little boy, you know, and she flexed on him. Like, even the way she pushed him, I was like, she was holding Aisha down. And I see, you know, my prediction for that situation, I think it's going to lead to the demise of that group, because, you know, as we saw, you know, since we're talking about Juke, you know, they came to rehearsal, Kanan is flirting with Crystal, and you know, already I'm like, this is going to be a mess. This is going to be a mess. And then Juke warned Crystal and was like, he's with Aisha, stay the F away from him. What did Crystal do? She called Kanan up. Kanan went over there. I think Juke is gonna beat the brakes off of that girl.
Yeah.
I think she is. That's gonna cause a problem in the group. And also, you know, it might push her and Aisha closer, because she's defending Aisha, and that might become a situation. It's gonna be, the group thing is getting ready to, what we talking about, a dream deferred.
It kind of stinks, because, you know, it's a really good show. The writing is great, and I love the stories, but it just stinks because we already know certain things. Like, I would love to like not know and be like, oh, who knows? Maybe Juke is gonna be this big star, and then later in life she gets to. But you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, we know we know the conclusion already. We know the outcome, rather.
Right.
You know, Crystal needs an A whooping. I mean, she needs it, and she really needs it badly. I mean, she needs it like some people need, you know, medicine. And I'm hoping that she gets it real soon. I really want to see that. I hope they don't break away from it. I want to see her get a natural beatdown. Now, with Aisha, you got to be kind of careful where you're stepping, because here you are hanging out with Kanan, and, you know, and Kanan, by the way, come on, bro. I know you want to be, a thug and you want to be all this, but you really mishandled that situation with Aisha
Oh,
at
he
the
gets the
theater.
hands for me.
Yeah,
He gets
definitely.
the hands.
Oh, most definitely. But if you're gonna play both ends, you better be damn careful how you play, because jukebox ain't no joke. And Kanan keeps bringing her up uh, to jukebox, and it's just going to be interesting now in episode 8 what Aisha does after being mistreated by Kanan.
Well, that's going to be a wrap because first off, you best believe that Crystal is going to run her mouth. That
Oh
they
yeah.
going to find out that Kanan went over there.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's going to be a wrap. Juke is going to be mad.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when your prediction or your wish may come true. She might actually get the hands, and she probably is on your hand list today. But
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I can see that happening. I think Juke's is going knock her out. But one of the things I wanted to mention to y'all that was interesting, going back to the Ronnie thing, when he said to Famous, when Famous said, I'm going back home with his mom, and he was like, well, what she miss about you? And my mom don't miss me. And I was just like, to me, that said a lot. And I was like, is that why he's so awkward with women, or he feels a certain way with women?
No,
Because
no. I said in the very beginning, if you recall, that he had a very strange relationship with women. I mean, look, most brothers that just got out of the bing.
Yeah.
I mean, you could put a female dog in front of them and, they'll go for it, but Ronnie is just, I mean, he's non-existent with women. It's almost as if he doesn't want them to touch him. And look what he did with Giuliani.
He was very awkward. He was very
awkward. Oh my God. The man never moved. She kissed him, but he never moved.
He did not kiss her back.
He might as well have been in a coffin.
Yeah. So it made me wonder about that, because I was like, he was so awkward with her. I was wondering, I was like, okay, is he just doing this because she's the plug?
No.
That
has been his MO through this whole season, that when a woman is around him, he just mistreats them, or he has absolutely no emotional connection to women. And it's just odd to see it and, play out the way it is. I thought, when I initially saw Giuliani and Ronnie together, I'm like, oh, okay, Ronnie might be stepping up and
I thought the
getting
same
in
thing.
with something, but
well, the fact that he was even there with her and he was allowing her to do that, that's what I mean when I say, is he going that far? Does he feel like he has to acquiesce to her because she's the plug? Because he don't look like he really interested in this stuff. So I'm like, is he? Yeah.
I don't know if acquiescing is the word, but I mean, the man, if he had been any stiffer, we would be ready to marry the man. What up, Ron? What do you say?
Listen, man. Ron Squared is in agreement on this one. I don't know what's wrong with my man. I think Ron hit it on the nail. Like, he been in prison. He coming out of prison. It's been a minute. He acted like he could care less. So something's definitely going on there. It's definitely, I would think it has a lot to do with his upbringing and the love or whatever, or the lack of love that he got from his own mother. Mm-hmm. There's something there definitely is bad. And really bad, because even we've seen stories or situations where, there might be some terrible issues that might have happened to someone's childhood and it affects them, where they're a little bit cold-hearted or a little bit off-putting. He is straight off, like nothing, like no emotion whatsoever, which is wild. Yeah. So I definitely think there's something going on there. And I think, wow, I was like, man, Juliana sure knows how to pick him. I'm like, what's wrong with this lady, man?
Yeah. I think she just wants something. But first of all, let me say this. He's a weirdo. We know he Michael Myers, but physically he is an attractive man. He is. And I think, look, Pops even said that he's just a weirdo. And I think Juliana, her husband, is gone. She was like, push up on this young man.
Well, can they give him another set of clothing this next episode? I'm really, look, I know he ain't washing the clothes. I mean, give him another jacket. You know what? I thought
to the party. He did wear something. He switched it up for the party.
Okay, then
last week.
where that? Because I mean, when he was leaving Famous's spot and the jackets fell on the floor or something, and he picked one up. I'm thinking, oh, you're gonna grab one for yourself. Good deal, good deal. He can get rid of that funny looking jacket he wears all the time. But okay, if you think he's handsome and all that, but I can't see anything for that lack of emotion. The man has
I mean, I think
he is in the sub-zero category when it comes to emotion. That's sub-zero.
yeah, he is. He's a weirdo. He is Michael Myers and stuff. But when he was saying that stuff to Famous about his mom, though, you can't even see Kanan was looking at him like he was crazy. So it was like,
wait a minute. You think if I had a son like that? I mean, look, I don't blame his mama. I mean, come on. I mean, look, she may have had you, but son, if all you got is this, yeah, your mama gonna put you aside too. No, I understand his mother. His mother got some sense after having that nothing child. The man is zero.
Well, look, Famous.
I was just gonna say, I like how Famous handled himself, even being scared to that level, because he was super scared. Because someone else just might have just been like, okay, I guess not. I mean, whatever you say or something. Like, I'm not saying nothing else because I don't. Everything I say, he's coming back to me. But the fact that Famous was like, I don't know, you're gonna have to ask my mom. I was like, okay, miss. I mean, yeah,
And then he was saying, "Hey, can you speak up for me? Like, can you get dude off me?" Well, one of the things that I think is going to happen with Famous, I'm nervous for Famous about him in this season, because as he was packing his stuff, I see he had the gun, and I was like, "Is that the gun that still got the body on it?" Like, I'm like, Famous, I think is either going to end up in the Bing this season, or he's gonna die, because I think what's going to happen is Luke keeps playing that song. That was the 411. He's snitching on himself in that song. And, and who's to say that song might get out there and blow up and stuff. And Kanan and Ronnie might hear this joint and be like, didn't we just talk to you about doing all this talking? And what if Ronnie does something to Famous? Or what if Ronnie makes Kanan do something to Famous? Because if you think about OG Power, remember Kanan made Dre kill that guy that was running his mouth. Remember the guy that was Brock that was running his mouth talking slick to Tommy and stuff. And you see what happened. Kanan, the next time you saw a dude, he was in the back of the trunk with no tongue, and he made Dre finish him off. Who's to say if Ronnie, I'm still thinking Ronnie is Breeze. The more I see him take Kanan in and assimilate and stuff, I'm like Ronnie is Breeze. Until we find out otherwise, I'm feeling like Ronnie is Breeze.
Well, all I have to say about that is look up the definition of Breeze and see if that implies anything to what you see out of that.
It ain't a personality contest.
We're not even talking about a contest. We're just talking about having some personality. Any.
I thought about you and other people that said that about Ghost and everything. Ghost and Tommy never described him as somebody they skipped down the yellow brick road with. They said that he took them under their wing.
But here's the thing.
They never said anything about his personality.
But here's the thing. With Ghost, what we know of Ghost and what we know of Tommy, I cannot imagine those two putting up for 6 minutes with a guy like Ronnie, because
they
Ronnie
were kids. We met Ghost and Tommy as adults.
But look at what Kanan is even doing now as a child. But he's even as a child, Kanan is bold enough to step to Ronnie when he has to, and we saw that when Ronnie made the inclination that he made. Do you want me to talk to Jukebox? And he jumped right in there and said, "My family is off limits. You won't do anything to my family." So I'm just saying, I can't deny that he may be Breeze. But a name like Breeze carries something. Names generally carry something. And to call him Breeze.
Right. You're right. There's nothing breezy about him. And he may not be Breeze. He just may be a list of the many mentors that Kanan had. And that could be so, but it definitely fits. It definitely fits.
I think I'm picking up what you're putting down here, Tiff, because I really did not like. That's what's been like I'm with Ron once again on that's the thing that's been held over my head, because I don't know, they didn't really go into too much detail about describing Breeze, but from what I heard about Breeze, it gave me the impression that they really like this guy.
Him.
Like,
I
don't know how you could really like Ronnie. So
Exactly.
I know it's not a personality thing, maybe it's not, but it just felt like that's what's throwing me off. If they didn't say the stuff that they said, I wouldn't even be thinking about it. I'd be like, yeah, that's definitely Breeze. But I will tell you one thing that I thought about, and I thought about you, Tiff. I saw a little clip of Ghost, and I think it was just a clip. It's a meme, and Kanan walks by him. Ghost turns around and puts that face, the ghost face, when he's in his ghost mode.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, I thought of Ronnie. So I was like, I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe he is Breeze. I don't
know. Look, we'll see. We'll find out soon enough, because maybe Breeze will, if he's not Breeze, we'll see him soon.
Okay. Let me say this. The only thing I find very breezy about Ronnie is he shows up like the breeze. I mean, he knows where everybody lives. He's at everybody's front door. And like the wind, this brother is right at your front door.
Ron, I think that's it. I think right now, I think you finally hit it. Because I think that's what he's everywhere. You turn around, he's there. I think that's it.
Too. Michael Myers was always like that too.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
always popped up.
Yeah, so it must be that. Like the wind, he's everywhere. And so if you want to call him Breeze because of that.
Well, what do y'all think about Juliana basically putting the battery in his back to threaten Vanessa?
Well, she may be putting the battery in his back, but she's also removing a couple of batteries from her own back. You mess with the wrong dude. And I don't know, things have a way of getting out. So it'll be interesting how it plays out, with her man. So I just think that was a absolutely wrong move to make. And you might charge Ronnie, but you better look at your own batteries, because
listen, that's leading to her downfall. And I was with you, Ron, because I think because Vanessa came home and then she said, "What are you doing with the bodega lady?" Best believe that Vanessa probably gonna say that to Rock, that's gonna get back to Rock. It's like, oh, so that's his connect.
Yeah.
And Rock gonna pull up on Juliana. Juliana is making her exit soon.
You best believe.
Yeah. So, and speaking of Rock, we see Rock ain't waste no time pulling up to the Chinese spot so that she can step into Unique's shoes for the work. What y'all think about that?
I thought it was actually a very interesting plan, and it seemed to work out. And the fact that the owner of that initial spot, he had several locations, and she was smart enough to check them all out, because and I noticed when you're looking at those locations, the first location, it seemed like there were more Asians and white folk, and then there was a location where you saw some black folks, and so if you're asking yourself, where can I do my thing? Okay, the lower, this just for sake of argument, the lower Manhattan might be better than upper Manhattan. So you want to find a place where you think your people, or those people that are going to buy from you, will more or less buy from that particular location. You're not going to use them all. You just want to check and see which few you could possibly get away with, so maybe. But she was smart enough.
20 restaurants, so
that's a lot of restaurants.
We got plenty of places to get away.
Well, but you're looking at the clientele that go into those restaurants, and I think that's what she was actually doing. She was trying to make a judgment of the clientele of those restaurants and trying to determine where might be her best fit. Because all 20 I don't think would work, but.
Right. Not only looking at the clientele, but also looking at the deliveries to seeing how the stuff can be moved in.
Yeah,
that's what she
definitely.
Logistics.
Yeah,
she even went to the.
No,
and she even went to the supply company to see to ask some questions, and you heard what dude said. Like,
Yeah.
we only supply the Chinese restaurant. So I was just like, okay, here we go.
Well, you know what? We ought to take that same mentality and say, we only eat black food and leave y'all little Chinese food alone. So you know what? I'm calling.
Facts.
I'm
you know
calling
what would
it.
happen to that business?
Exactly.
Exactly.
I'm calling
Exactly.
it. Stop eating Chinese food, people.
Exactly. You see, Marvin's favorite was the number 37.
Number 37.
Same as the uncle. So if we stop, their business will be short.
Yeah. Okay.
And the funny tip, if you remember, when Unique first started the business, when he went to the cousin told him, yeah, their food is trash. But I think he did like the rice, and he said something else. So I think that may be the number 37. So
no, Unique said he might sleep the sweet and sour, but the 37, yeah.
No, but the cousin said the food is trash.
Oh,
He said there's only 2 things he'll even eat from there.
He said a couple of soups.
And maybe I think he said the rice. I think I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah. But so it looks like, and so the uncle tells Rock that he wants a percentage. That once, and Rock said after she did her due diligence, as you said, Ron, which she did, she checked out the spots. She said she would circle back with him after that they would consider it. Mm-hmm. But he want a percentage. How much of a percentage he want?
Well, I mean, I didn't find anything wrong with that, and in fact, I like it because it makes him more culpable. So you can't deny that you didn't know what Rock was doing in your spots because you're getting a percentage from it. So why not bring him into that degree? Now, how much? I'm
not saying don't break them off. I'm just wondering, like, how much of a percentage are we talking?
Well, I don't know, but like she said, but then that is a little interesting though, because when they were talking about the finances of it, Rock said it's 100% profit for you because you're not having to support that business. So you're already getting not a percentage, you're getting 100% of the intake as far as, I don't think I understood what that really meant, because what you're getting from it or what Rock is paying you, you're not doing anything except allowing her to use your spot. So I guess the question is, how much is he getting from Rock just on that basis alone?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. That definitely makes sense. Speaking of Rock, I want to talk about Marvin too, because Marvin has really been showing up. Marvin has been showing up, and I'm so nervous. I'm like, they better not do nothing to Marvin, because Marvin has been the MVP. He's always showing up. Like, he came to the restaurant before their meeting with at the Chinese restaurant. They're talking about Lou, because Lou done blew it. We saw Lou last week when he was drunk, go to Scrap's mom's house and snitch. And now she's taking herself to the cops and told on him. And Howard was there, intervened, and he got the scoop, gave the scoop to Rock, and now Rock like, he need to clean this mess up. We need to make sure he clean this up. But I was like, oh my gosh.
Let me say this. While Marvin, as you said, has been the glue in the family and actually being very supportive to seemingly his buddy Gerald, and Gerald, we can talk about him in a minute, but Gerald needs two or three hands. But
he need to be on the hands.
I think it could play out to be not a good thing. I mean, you go to somebody's house, your fingerprints are on the doorknob, you're going to shoot the person, then you leave. Now those 2 shots in a close neighborhood like that, somebody heard something. And whether they would stick their heads out the window or out the door to see what was going on, I don't know. But it was also interesting to me with Lou, how he was pissing all over Rock, because Rock made me do this and Rock made me kill this person, and I was just a young kid and Rock was my older sister, and okay, now what's your point? Because Marvin said you got to clean this up, and now he takes it into his hands to go and kill Scrap's mom. Now you could
have a choice though.
Well, we do have choices. And whether, regardless of the outcome of the choices, you have choices. So now you're still a killer, Lou. So that's
Oh,
why I was
yeah,
saying, you know,
he is a killer.
yeah. And so while you were hyping on Rock about what she was making you do, and I said very early on, you had choices then, but you have to live up to who you really are. You are a killer, my brother, and you proved it
He
in
is.
episode 7.
Well, let me rephrase what I meant, or clarify. I meant when I said he didn't have a choice, I meant it was his fault.
Yeah.
So I meant he didn't have a choice because he had to clean it up. He made the mess by going over there and running his mouth. So it was on him to clean it up, which is what Marvin pretty much said to him. And Rock said to Marvin, like, he needs to handle this.
But you know what?
When Marvin went over there, he said it too.
But why not hire a handyman? Somebody else that can go and clean that mess up. You don't necessarily have to show up yourself. I mean, there are plenty assassins, just go hire one. So, my thing is, if you're going to be doing that kind of work yourself, you're really putting yourself on Front Street. I mean, you're just asking to be caught.
Look, it's going to get worse from here because I think it's also going to come back on Howard too. I said last week that I feel like the feds, they may not know everything, but I still think they have a hunch about Howard. I think they do. I mean, they may not know everything, but I think they do have a hunch. And he got on the task force unofficially, provided a background check. And I'm wondering if in the background check is it going to come up about his relations to Rock and Kanan.
Well, remember the conversation that Captain Burke had with what's her name?
Adina.
Look at the conversation they had. Adina was like, I'm out of this. I mean, she was basically saying
he just saying that.
Well, maybe she is, maybe she isn't, but she was basically saying, I'm kind of done with this. It was all our faults. She blamed Burke, she blamed herself, she blamed the job itself and her father. So, I mean, I just don't know what they know. I don't think that they're on to that necessarily. And I'm glad to see that Howard is now on the
task force.
Now the task
force. So he
force.
can stay close.
But it does bring to question now that Scrap's mom is dead after
That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. That's getting ready because
how that information come out.
He intervened.
He intervened exactly. Now that is a problem.
And then now this woman turns up dead.
And now she turns up dead.
You talk, and you're not even a regular person. Right. And then he told the feds when he intervened. He said, "Oh, this is a woman that always comes and complains about tickets and stuff." Now, if the feds look into that, they're gonna know that he lied.
They know he lied.
And stuff. And then, especially when they start looking into the connection with, because they're already looking at Marvin, which Howard, even though he went and told Rock that that Lou snitched on and told Scrap's mom, he held back on the fact that they're looking at Marvin. I said, oh, he keeping that close to the vest as his little trump card and stuff. So he can use that probably to save himself because he's probably like, my son had this prediction. He was like, I think if push kind of shove, he gonna dime out Marvin. And by him withholding that information, I was like, okay, he might be right. He might be holding it to dime Marvin out. But he that Scrap's mother's killing, I think that can lead back to Howard. And then start unraveling everything else.
Yeah.
Especially when they start looking at the connections, if they find out, his connection to Rock, his connection to Kanan, Marvin, all that stuff. I really do think that, and it may not even be this season, but I really think stuff is going to unravel for Howard. And he's going to
be. I think you're right. And it's like, Lou didn't even remember that he went over there. I mean, that's just how like, where's your life, my man? Like, what are we doing? Yeah. And this is the reason why I know Lou's going to be on somebody's hands list. But I just feel like Lou, like, imagine you trying to clear your conscience, going to tell somebody, and then in the end, getting that person killed who's already was dealing with the grief. That's the reason why you went over there to kind of ease your mind, because that person must be going through something. Then you get them killed because of your actions. Exactly. Now he not only does he got to get the hands, I think Lou's gonna have to go. I think he's much of a liability.
I agree.
Something is gonna happen with Lou because I was online and I was looking at descriptions and stuff for the episodes, and I think for like episode 9, I read this description. And it was on Rotten Tomatoes for the episodes. It said Marv looks desperately for Lou. Like it says in episode 8 that he's gonna be despondent. So pretty much he's gonna be, probably still drinking and really down in the dumps and feeling guilty about what he had to do with Scrap's mom. And then as they pulled off, he was hallucinating that he saw Scrap. So he's already gonna be kind of spiraling. So I'm wondering, I'm like, in episode 9, if Marv is looking desperately for Lou, like what does that mean? Did he leave town? Did he get killed and he's MIA?
Or
Like
did he
I'm like,
did he commit
did he commit?
suicide?
That's what I'm thinking too. Did he delete himself?
Mm-hmm.
And did Rock do it? Did Rock circle back and do it?
I don't
Because
know
in
if
the
Rock.
trailer,
I
you
don't.
think?
I just don't. I mean, as cold blooded as I know Rock can be, I just don't know if she would take out her own family member. But Marvin said something in the car that got me thinking about a very old song that y'all can go back and check on. Gil Scott Heron in the bottle. Because he mentioned that bottle, and he said that's where your problem is because since Lou has taken on this lush life with this bottle thing, I'm trying to it's the very next step could possibly be now that he did this very thing that he swore by that Rock had put him up to, and now he's killed someone else. It could be on his conscience because look, who did he see as they were driving off in the window?
Scrap. Mm-hmm.
So those ghosts are continuing to haunt him. So it may be that the only thing he can do is off himself. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, it's sad. I do feel like something might happen with Lou, or unless he's gonna go out of town or disappear and get himself. I don't know, but seeing how his mom is too. Speaking of mothers, like we were wondering, like with Ronnie, like Ronnie has issues with his mom, and clearly that has affected him. But Lou and them's mom is a trip too. Like it's like she only comes around like when she got her hand out and stuff.
I think that's Ronnie's
it says
mom.
a lot. Huh? Oh Lord.
I think that's Ronnie's mom, and they just don't know it. I mean, because I can see Ronnie having a mother just like that.
Because Lou said something really interesting, like when Shirley asked, like, so that's your mom, and he was like, that's what the papers say. I was like, oh wow. So I'm like, so mom is a trip. And then she said, she's trying to get money from Rock, and Rock says she was short. And Rock ain't short. So clearly they're not rocking with their mom.
No. They're probably in the position because of their mother, so
well, I don't understand it. Wait, maybe did Lou say something when he went to the house to get the records? Like, how does she know where Lou was?
He did say something. He said,
he did mention it.
He said I got a spot downtown. I need the
yeah.
records for, and that's when she was down on him about the music, and it was like, and music was what got your dad killed, and he was like, it wasn't the music, and he said it again this episode too. So I'm like, okay, he's saying it without saying it, that she was the reason why Pops, whatever happened to Pops, may have happened to Pops.
Yeah.
So so that's really interesting and stuff. And so yeah, I'm with you. I think that Lou, I don't know, he might be on borrowed time. I hope not, but it seems that way. It seems that way. It's like,
agree.
And and Rock is, getting ready to do her thing. What's his name? Quan. We talked about that. He didn't want to mess with her at first, but she said she had a bigger plan. He was interested in that, so that led to the meeting with the uncle and all that. And so Juke, they getting ready to have a huge opportunity. The group, but they got booked to perform, open up with Shanice at the mall, and they had a whole photo shoot, which Crystal jumped right in the front. I was like, Lord, this is gonna be short lived, and I want Juke to win so bad. I want her to win, but like Ron said, we already know Juke's fate, And we saw her meeting with the army recruiter too, because she, last week we saw she did get accepted. She passed all her exams. So it's going to be interesting to see, like, at the end of this season, if that's what she ends up, like, if she leaves and goes.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I think butter is going to turn out to be margarine after after girlfriend gets her butt kicked. So and Aisha is probably going to be gone because she's a little nervous over the whole thing, and she's in the middle of everything. So yeah, that group is done.
And did y'all peek that Aisha has an eating disorder? Did y'all see that?
No, I didn't see.
Y'all didn't? Oh, see, that's the thing. See, y'all, it probably went over when she kept vomiting. When she came out of the bathroom and she vomited in the bathroom in exchange with she and Juke. She said, "Oh, I must have ate something bad." And Juke said, "You seem to eat something bad a lot." And I was like, and when I first saw her vomiting, I was like, "Don't tell me she did." I said, "Please don't tell me that she got pregnant by Kanan." But when what's it called said you seem to be doing that a lot, I said, "Oh my goodness, she's bulimic." Because that's what, a lot of times, especially getting into the industry, the body image and stuff. Right. So she's trying to stay thin, and that's what they do. They make themselves vomit.
Yeah, you're right. I missed Tiff. I missed. You definitely, you 100% right. Because when I was thinking about it, I didn't pay attention to that. I was just thinking because some people, even the greatest performers, throw up before they go on stage, or even athletes throw up before they go on the field.
Right.
But the way that you're saying it, and now it makes sense. The way you're saying it and the way Duke responded to it, like you seem to throw up a lot. That kind of plays into that. Yeah.
Crystal said, "You're a jukebox and she's puke box." So for her to give her a nickname, that means it's happening on a regular.
Right.
And other people, they've peaked it. So apparently she's doing that on a regular to, probably when she eats stuff to stay thin. And unfortunately that is an eating disorder.
No, so it's yeah, it is. Definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, and I think we mentioned this last week, speaking of Juke. I think we all knew that Juke was gonna snitch on Kanan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We saw that coming.
Yeah.
We saw that coming. And she made a beeline. I know who was I talking to that said to me, like, I don't blame her though. Like, if that was my family and I'm worried and everything, she said I would have told too.
Yeah,
but I'm like,
but now it really, I mean, you talk about a candle burning down now. So it's really going to be interesting what Rock does, because now Rock is not only concerned about what Kanan has been doing, now she realizes that he's taken up space with Ronnie and what's the guy? Jay, what's the guy's name?
Snap and Pop.
Yeah, Pop. And so she now she understands the score. So she actually knows what's really going on. So it's really going to be interesting now how she handles this, because it doesn't look good, man.
It's getting ready to be drama, because I keep thinking about the stills I keep seeing online, and there was a still that looks like somebody snatched Kanan up, like some boys snatched Kanan up. And when I saw that at first, I thought, before I saw this episode, I was like, well, is that Scrap's mom? Like, I was thinking that Scrap's mom was going to try to get revenge and stuff, as opposed to going to the cops. And now that we know she's gone, we know that. So now I'm rethinking what I saw in that still, and I'm like, that might have been Rock. Rock might have had some fellas scoop Kanan up, just like Tommy did for his nephew in Force this year. Yeah. We saw that. Like, so I'm wondering, I said, that might be Rock scooping Kanan up.
Yeah, that's a good guess. That is a good guess.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about it and I didn't have a chance to talk about it when we were talking about Famous. Certain things, just like you would wish some of these people had a little bit more common sense. You know what I mean? Like Lou's dealing with all this stuff with his family. He doesn't want to be in this business. He's trying to be legit and do his own thing. He knows the bottle's calling him. He knows what happened to his father. He knows who his mother is. why are you still there? Why are you staying there? You can't go help run a joint somewhere else in some other city, some other town. Like, why are you still here in the midst of all this? But that's Lou. Famous is starting to pull at my heartstrings, so I'm feeling bad for this kid because I know that, first off, I don't know why Power keeps making this guy say everything he does in these songs, but but when he took that gun, I was like, why are you taking the gun? But if you're gonna take the gun, I hope you're taking the gun to get rid of the gun. No, he's not getting rid of the gun. He's putting the gun in a shoebox on top of his closet back in his mom's house. And the first thing I thought was, that is going to get you kicked out of your mom's house again. When she finds that gun, you are out on your butt once again. Like, what are we doing? I don't get it.
I had some serious thoughts running through my head. I'm like, well, do you leave the gun and maybe the place gets raided and we see Kanan in there and they blame the gun? They think that it's Kanan's gun and they match the bullet with and they and they think that, okay, we got our man now, and then I thought, well, maybe taking the gun might have been a smart thing, but then you put the gun in your closet in a shoebox, and I'm like, okay, that's not smart.
That gun has a body on it.
What
That's
has a
why
body? I'm saying I think he should have left the gun, just left it there. Because Kane is taking over the place now, so it's his place. What I do want to say about Famous is I think he's beginning to see some light at the end of this tunnel here, and I'm glad to see his mother take him back. And he sat on the bed and started reminiscing about what he's done, his life, and so I can see a change coming. Now the question is, will it come fast enough? Because we understand that he's at the tip of a dynamite, man. I mean, his life is about to explode one way or the other. He's either going to go up or it's time out.
I would have
dream deferred.
dream. I don't know. I'll be thinking too much sometimes. But if I was no, I'm saying Juke. If I was Famous, I would have probably given the gun to Rock. I know that sounds crazy, it's far-fetched, and I know Rock would have probably planted that gun on someone eventually, but it wouldn't be me. It wouldn't be on me.
Yeah, he's really green, because I was like, that gun is going to be his undoing, I think, because it's going to have the body on it. So I really think he either checking out or he's going to the game. And something's going to happen, because I feel like there's a reason why Kanan named his son Sean. And Famous's real name is Sean.
It's Sean, yeah.
So I was like, so I there's the reason why, So I think there's going to be something. I hope not, but this is power. This is power.
Well, and you saying that makes me think that that obviously he named him because that was his one real true friend. But I also kind of knowing Kanan and what he's becoming and what he becomes.
Oh, he's really becoming right before our eyes.
Yeah, I'm like, right maybe he took maybe he's gonna take Famous out himself.
That's what listen, he told Tariq, he said, you're not a killer until you kill someone you love. So with that being said, I can see, especially if Kanan is running his mouth and Ronnie is in his ear, I can see Ronnie like telling Kanan, like, you said that you said it, that if he get out of line, he would F him up himself. He said it.
That's why I thought it was
Ronnie might hold him to that.
But that's why I thought it was such a good idea for him to be back with his mother, so that he can get away from that mess, because he really needs to be far away from Kanan right now, because Kanan is, he's gone way left, and he's, you don't need to be around that, and giving up that apartment might have been the best thing you could have done. So
he put it on wax, though.
Well, yeah,
and so if that blows up, they're gonna say, like, there you go, running your mouth. What did we say to you about talking? And stuff. So I can see that being an issue. I can see it being an issue. I'm scared.
And it just gets worse. I mean, but then this last episode, we hear him a little bit more of it. He's like, I
Shot
wonder
him
if the
in the
cops
chest.
know. Do they have a suspect? Like,
I was
what?
like, oh,
What are we
I
doing?
was like, oh my gosh. I said he's giving them a timeline.
Like, come on,
Shut
man.
up, Famous.
Jeez.
Yeah, I was like, okay, Famous. This is the and Lou was playing that joint over and over and over again. Because
Well,
that was like, Lou was feeling that song too, because he's dealing with his conscience as well. I had a thought. You see all types of clickbait online and stuff, and I don't always click on it because I said people be throwing out any type of theories. Well, one theory that I saw online, that somebody said that they thought that Lou could be Ghost Dad because the part when they said that he had a drunk for a daddy. Remember when Tommy said that to him, and because Ghost father did own a club and stuff. So, Ron, if he just right, H, you said he disappears, if he steps away or whatever, he comes back with a kid. But at this point, I think Ghost and them are already alive and stuff.
well,
They just
but think about it though. Well, and it can't be because Kanan and Ghost are around the same age.
No, they're not. Kanan is older.
He can't be that much older.
He's like Sasha Penn said they're like 5 years older. He's like 5 years older than Ghost and Tommy or something like that.
But Kanan being what, 17 now, 16, 17?
And he's like 15. He's like 15, 16.
So that would mean
Jukebox is older. Jukebox is 18.
But that would mean Lou already had Ghost.
And he doesn't have any kids. That's why I said that it doesn't make any sense. Like some of the stuff that I see online.
Yeah. People just throwing stuff out.
Just throwing stuff, clickbait.
Yeah.
But I know we need to wrap this up, but I know we just touched on the Gerald situation and the kids. Now, last week we were thinking he was a fed or that he was going to do something to set Marvin up, because it seems like he's going to write a story or something. I mean, that's what we were thinking.
And he will. He will. He still is. If that's what you was thinking, I'm with you.
Yeah, that's what I do think that he's going to do
now. Definitely more than ever.
Yeah,
I thought so last week, but this week with leaving your children in the car for a couple of hours while you go dope up, and had it not been for Marvin getting there, who knows what would have happened. So I'm a little more concerned for Gerald at this point, being that dope fiend. I mean, your ride ain't but so long. You keep shooting up, and one day,
would he be so desperate? And would he snitch on Marvin or something? Well, because he definitely is a fiend. And I thought that was adorable how Marvin made cookies for the kids, and they would call him Uncle Marvin and stuff. I thought that was cute.
That's all great, but that he can't be there 24/7. And if you saw the tracks on his arms,
yes,
he's not. That's not an occasional user.
No, he's not.
Okay, so.
No, he got a serious problem. And I definitely do think that he is going to really do something devastating that's going to affect Marvin and Juke and the family. Really them too. Because I think he's going to get what I'm just predicting is that he's already told you how rock bottom he's been. I mean, your family don't really want to be there for you when they don't trust you because you stole from them. He's already been down that road. He left his kids in the car while he's getting high. He's like, it could have been 10 minutes, 30 minutes, a couple hours. Them kids are going to get taken from him. And then he's not going to have anything, maybe be out on the street or whatever. He's going to have that one last opportunity to write a story somehow for some cash or whatever. That story is going to get into all of Marvin's stuff with that Tony, whatever her name was.
Tony D.
Yep. And also somehow he's going to be, because the thing is, I'm mad at Marvin's character for continuing to bring it up with Juke. I don't want this dude writing a story about he can't even keep his life together. I don't even know how that story is going to come out.
Well, that's
got to stay away from that.
But I think he's just trying to be, as he said last
he's being a good friend and actually a sponsor.
He's trying to be a good dad too. Like he's trying to support Juke, because he told Lou last episode, I'm trying to come correct on this dad thing. So he thinks he's helping Juke. But this dude,
well, I know we got to roll.
We got to go. So but I wanted to get your the hands the hands list first. I know you already said, Crystal, you want her to have the hands. Crystal from the group, Butter.
Crystal, Juliana gets the hands.
Juliana, the hands. Lou gets the hands for sure. What about you, Ron H? Anybody in the hands list?
I agree with those choices, but yeah, for me, Lou gets the hands. Lou gets all the hands. He gets as many hands as you could throw at him.
Yes. What about the game ball? Like, who's the MVP?
Well, I would give it to Marvin, except I think it was a mistake giving Lou the gun and the opportunity to kill Scrap's mom. I think that in and of itself is a problem. Like I said, you can go out and hire a hitman. You don't have to do it yourself. And I think that can come back to haunt the family even more. So I'm on the fence with Marvin getting the game ball this week. He 6 in one, half a dozen in the other.
I'm still rocking with Marv because Marv is showing up for everybody. He's clutch for Rock at the meetings with the the connects and stuff. He's clutch. He went up there and shook Lou up. I mean, he did what he did with Lou, taking him to check Scrap's mom, take her out or whatever. But the way he's trying to show up for Juke, the way even Gerald's kids and stuff. So I respect the arc, his character development and stuff, and so he still gets the game ball for me.
And Jukebox gets the game ball.
Juke too.
She gets the game ball for checking Kanan and checking him in a way. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Once again, I agree with you guys on that. And I agree that you actually made a really good point about Marvin. You know what I don't understand about that? Why you already know what your brother's been going through. He's in the bottle, right? First off, that's one. So if you in the bottle and you're about to take care of something, you could be sloppy with it. So I'm not going to trust you to do that. That's one.
Exactly.
Two, if I know my brother's going through something, he doesn't want to be a part of this life. He messed up. I'm just going to go in there and do it myself. Why am I even going to allow him to go do this again and put something else back on his, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
No, I agree 100%.
But I was going to say my game ball is a little weird, maybe controversial, and it's only for a moment. Goes to Howard. Howard intercepting that whole thing with moms and because they could have started something right then and there if Howard didn't step in.
You know what? I hear you and I see where you're headed with it, but it's another one of those 6 in one hand, half a dozen.
I know.
Because while he did that, but he's the conduit to all of this.
Yes, he is.
Of what happens after that. And those fingers can come right back to him because of it. So
true.
Wow.
That's what Rock said too. Like she said to him, like she said, when he came over there trying to shoot her out, he's like, wait a minute, you the one told us the Scrap was a snitch and he was wrong and stuff too. So, Howard got some stuff on him too. So I mean, but I understand your point too, because he did intervene. It could have gone way worse had Howard not intervened.
Yeah, so we got two people on the fence, Marvin and Howard. So hey.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this was a good discussion, and we're always happy to see you, Ron H. You can come back anytime. I want to thank everybody who's watching. Make sure that you like, subscribe to the video, tell your friends, tell a friend, share. Check out our playlist where we have a lot of interviews. We interviewed the Raising Kanan cast, Force cast, the Ghost cast, the Power Universe period, and many other shows, including The Shy. And we look forward to seeing you next week. And if you guys want to join us, please hit us up in the comments. Let us know your comments. Follow us on all social media platforms, X, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram.
And one more thing. Please check out our shorts. We've got some good stuff in there. And what else? I was going to say our shorts, and there was something else on my mind, but now it's blown away. Oh my gracious! Well, this is what happens when it's your birthday. So today,
it's the age.
Not the age. Like I said, I'm going backwards. But anyway, we'll leave it at that.
Well,
let me just say that thank you guys once again for having me. As Tiff says so graciously, as well as Ron, please support these guys. They do fantastic work. All three of them, with Tiara included. Subscribe, hit that like button, give some comments to the Spot Real Talk. I know I always do. And once again, happy birthday to my guy Ron. Throw him some happy birthdays in the comments as well, man.
Hey. Thank you much.
All right, guys, we're out of here. We'll see y'all next week for episode 8 and with another guest host. And Tiara will be back soon. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Say, oh, me, won't you hear me?